Hello and welcome to Expats Everywhere. If you could, tell us your name, where you're from, and a little about yourself.
All right, sure will. My name is Viktor. I'm from Sweden. I'm from the south of Sweden. It's a city called Helsingborg. Maybe 120,000 people lives here. Maybe a village compared to other countries. But it's to me here it's called a city. And I'm working right now as a bartender in a restaurant and cocktail bar here in my city. And I'm 34 years old, so I'm thinking about maybe switching careers soon, even though I still love my job. But I also feel like maybe I have another calling in life. And so that's why I started my YouTube channel right now. And it's called The Art of Living, but it's in Swedish, so it's called Konsten att leva. And there I talk about mental illness through a deeper way than maybe other people are talking about. So, and I think we need more wisdom in this society right now. We have a lot of knowledge, but I think maybe the wisdom is missing sometimes. So you can have a knowledge idiot, and you don't want to.
Right.
You want both knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, definitely.
Practicing. I'm not an expert yet, but I'm practicing it, and I want to share because it helped me a lot. So now I want to help other people because I feel like this could help a lot of people.
Man, that's awesome, Victor. Sounds like a very worthwhile cause for sure. Well, let's jump into this interview, man. So what countries have you worked in outside of Sweden?
First, I did my bartender career in London, and then I stayed there for 7 months and work a lot, like every day almost, and not so good tip, but I love it. Like London and New York is the best cities in the world, I think, if you want to work as a bartender. It's like where almost a lot of drinks are coming from there. Like
yeah, a lot of creativity, right?
Yeah. But right now, the cocktail area, the cocktail genre, the cocktail culture has growing in the whole world.
Definitely.
So I think now in Singapore, of course, and Australia and a lot of places, it's becoming a lot more respected job, I think. Now you can be a cocktail bartender, a mixologist, you can be like a liquid chef, like on the cruise ship, we would call each other liquid chefs. So it's, but I started in London and then I moved to Greece in Rhodes, worked there on a summer. And then I went to Norway and to do a ski season. So I did one summer season in Rhodes, and then I did a ski season in Norway. And then I moved to another city in Norway, but just like it's called Bergen. It's the second largest city in Norway, because the money was really good in Norway, like amazing. I just lived like a king, and I didn't do anything. So that's why I have to stay here more. So that's why I stayed like 1.5 years in Bergen in Norway. But then I feel like I want to do some more. I want to do one more stuff, and that's when I look into working a cruise ship because it's always been a dream. So there I applied for a cruise job, and then they called me, and I waited for a couple of months before I joined the ship, and then I started working on a cruise ship in 2011. And then, of course, there we went to a lot of different places, but in Europe and in the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah, what is it like working on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Let's jump into that.
Yeah, it's heaven and hell, I think. Yeah, it's both. It's both. And I think it depends a lot on what cruise ship you're working on, but usually the bigger ones, like the one I was working in, like I worked for a company called Celebrity Cruises. It's owned by Royal Caribbean, so it's their daughter company. But it's still a big ship. We take 3,000 passengers, and we're like 1,200 working there, 1,200 workers. So it's a big ship, and I think usually on the big ships you work every day, and especially in the bar, I work every day. Sometimes if you work in a boutique, you're not allowed to be open when you're in land, because of the customs and things like that. So they have some days off. But usually for the most people, you work every day. So you work 7 days a week, you work at least 10 hours a day, sometimes 15 hours. So yeah, I'm like, I work almost never under 300 hours per month. So that's a lot of hours, you know. If I would work that in Sweden, I would be a millionaire right now. But over there, you know, but it's a lifestyle, you know. It's a totally different. Like everything is perfect inside the cruise ship, you know. Everything is like the design and everything, the food, and you know, it's all like, yeah, you've been there, so you know, like it's a little bit small world in its own, and you get really connected with all the people. But also it's tough because you have to be service minded 24/7, and I think that's where you get emotionally drained, you know, after a while. It takes energy to always be, you know, what can I do for you? How are you doing today? La 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 la, you know. But you're in this together, but still you don't sleep so much because you work a lot, and then maybe you want to do something else also. You want to maybe go have a coffee, you know, if you're in Turkey or if you're in Dead Sea, you maybe want to look out the Dead Sea. But then you have to realize, okay, I have to get up a little bit early now, so maybe I'm only going to sleep 4 or 5 hours. And then after that, I would work 12 hours. So, you know, that's and I think, and I know a lot of people feel the same. You know, when my first day on the cruise ship, the other guys who was there said, "Welcome to hell."
That's a really optimistic way to look at it, right? First day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice, but so after a while you realize, okay, it is tough to work 7 days a week, you know. So that's the bad part. But then you see a lot of places. I don't know, you meet friends from all over the world. You know, we were 72 different countries representing working on the cruise ship.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. So what kinds of jobs are available, and do you find that the cruise liners kind of match people's nationality up with certain jobs? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Maybe a little bit judgeful, I don't know, but usually...
Like a caste system, almost.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think the cruise ship is sometimes, I compare sometimes to similar to a prison, almost. You know, you have these different invisible rules. And usually, like always, the people with the higher ranks are from States, are from England, or, you know, maybe from Sweden, usually. And the lower, you know, the waiters are usually from Philippines and India and maybe Poland or small countries. And usually the people who works in the spa and things like that are from maybe also England, and I don't know, but it usually that's, yeah, a lot of like people from India usually work as a waiter. Mm-hmm. Or sommelier maybe, or in the restaurant, and then you work in the spa, or you can work in the shops, you know, selling Rolex and selling, you know, different expensive things. And yeah, what else?
What about the people that are cooking, the people that are cleaning rooms?
Yeah, cleaning also usually Philippines and Indians, yeah. And I don't know, maybe because I think it is because I was the only Swedish person on the ship, and they told me, "What are you doing here, man? You have a good life in Sweden." So I think it's hard to find a job, and it's easier to find a job if you want to clean than it is to find a job in the bar, maybe, or in another area. So it's easier to find those jobs, and that's why more people are applying for those jobs, maybe from poor countries. Because I can save, like, maybe if I could save $2,000, that's good money every month. But it's really different for me what I can do with $2,000 here in Sweden and what I could do in the Philippines.
Sure.
Here the food costs 10 times more.
Sure.
So that's why I think a lot of people like the job there because they make way more money than they would back home. So a lot of people, work in the cruise ship, maybe to start a business, to save money to start a business in their home, for example.
Yeah. What does a typical day look like for someone that is in food and beverage?
Usually you work either in the daytime and in the nighttime, and then you have a break in between, or you work maybe just night times, or you work usually daytimes. So it depends.
3 shifts?
Yeah, 3 shifts.
Okay.
Or and depends really, because you switch bars and you switch restaurants maybe, because the one cruise ship have a lot of different restaurants and a lot of different bars. I forgot how many bars we have, maybe 10 different bars. So it's like we have 10 different bars, but one nightclub. So if you work on a nightclub, you only work in the night, because the nightclub is only open from maybe 8 to 5 or 3 in the morning.
Right.
So it depends. And then sometimes you work in a crew bar, or sometimes you work in the cocktail bar, or sometimes you work in a whiskey bar. So it really depends where you work. And so where you work, that's determine the hours, if you work day or night. So it depends what area, what bar or restaurant you work in.
Just out of curiosity, if you work in the crew bar, where do you go for reprieve?
Like,
where do you go to relax?
Yeah.
Because it's like all the other workers are coming to your bar at the crew bar to relax. But then if you work at the crew bar, man, where do you go?
Yeah, no, that's the
off
thing.
Off the ship?
Yeah, off the ship. Off the ship, you go to a lonely beach somewhere, away from everybody. I think for me, I think bartender is the toughest job, because you're always working. You work in the crew bar with a crew party, and when we have a crew party for the whole ship, like for example, if we have people from they check if it's check the sanitary, people who are from the government, they check if it's both clean or not. And that's the biggest day of all days in the life, because if it's not clean, they will close the ship, and that will be a catastrophe.
Yeah.
So when they check the ship, if it's clean and everybody's nervous, what's gonna happen now, and we made it, we have a party to celebrate, nice, good job everybody, thanks for all the special cleaning we have done. But who works at the party? So we work I think all the time, because when other people relax and have fun, we serve them.
Right.
So it's I think bartending could be a tough job, but also maybe the most fun, because if you like bartender, you love the job. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. As a bartender, how much can you expect to earn on a cruise ship?
On a cruise ship, I think usually I usually made maybe $1,500 every month.
Okay.
I could save $1,500 every month. Depends. There's a lot of it in the tips, if we're good tips or bad tips. But the tips is not so good like it was before. It's going down. Like people who's been there for 20 years says it's not like the way it was.
People are tipping less by percentage.
Yeah, but it's also because now it's more cheap to go on a cruise ship. It's like a big competition. It's not so expensive now to go on a cruise ship as it was before. Before I think was more exclusive. Now it's affordable. So the people who are going are not the rich people anymore. Like everybody can go to a cruise ship now if you just have a normal job. So I think the high tippers are they going to maybe smaller boats, with 200 people instead of 3,000 people,
Yeah.
That's where. So I think if I would do another contract, I think maybe I'd do a smaller boat, with more exclusive guests and maybe more service, more attention, just to get more tips. Maybe also get 1 day off a week or something. To me, it's more like a fabric almost. The big cruise ships, more like fabrics. You're just a worker. You're just a number.
So what kind of lifestyle can you live while being on a cruise, working 6, 7 days a week?
Some people also get addicted to that lifestyle, you know.
Okay.
Like I have friends who still working there, and they didn't have to, but you see so many places. Like you're in Caribbean, you're in Europe, you're in Alaska, you're in Australia, you're in Indonesia. You know, you see the whole world. And sometimes, you know, a lot of places you don't need a whole day to see everything. Sometimes, you know, you just need 4 or 5 hours. And sometimes maybe you get a day off if you work in a different apartment or a different department. So you see the whole world, you make money, you don't have to think about anything, you know, you don't have to wash your clothes, you don't have to cook food, you know, you can train, you can work out, you have everything there. You know, so you only have to work with a smile on your face. And that's the tough part sometimes, but you don't really have to think about anything because everything else is taken care for. You just have to, you know, iron your clothes, look okay, and work, and you don't have to really like think so much, and you can enjoy. You know, I love my colleagues, I love my roommates. You know, you become really close when you work together so much. You share the same small apartment, you know, a room, and like you become way more close than I've been to my schoolmates, which I have maybe for 3 years or something.
Right.
So you make friends for life, and you see the world. You make money, even though it's not good for me, maybe, but it's still, you know, I made money, and it's I miss it sometimes also. You know,
what do people spend money on? What do workers spend money on while on the ship? Like you guys, I'm sure spend some money, but what would it be on?
Usually, I think it's alcohol or cigarettes.
On like in the crew bar, yeah, okay,
yeah, that's right. But it's also so cheap, like
subsidized prices.
Yeah. Maybe I paid $2 for a beer. I don't know. Like it's very. And this, I don't smoke, but a lot of people who were smoking, they were smoking a lot, and they didn't pay like, I don't know, a couple of dollars also for a package of cigarettes.
Oh, duty free.
Yeah, duty free. Yeah, and then if they buy things in when they land. You know, maybe if you're Caribbean, if you're St. Martin or something, you can buy cheap electronics. You know, if you go to different countries, you can buy cheap watches and. So usually they buy nice stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and enjoy themselves, and they save for the family, but also they spoil themselves sometimes also, and I think that's good. You have to do that when you work so much. You have to spoil yourself and relax and enjoy.
Sometimes that keeps a little like mental stability, right?
Yeah.
You get a little drop of dopamine when you spoil yourself.
Yeah. You know, you reward yourself.
Yeah. Every now and then, treat yourself, people. Treat yourself. You know.
Yeah.
So, what kind of startup costs do people need to consider when starting to work for a cruise ship? Are there any startup costs?
I think maybe just the visa. You know, maybe you need a visa. You need to go to the embassy, and you need to maybe renew your passport or something like that. But it's maybe just a couple of $100 just in case. But otherwise, they pay the ticket to go to the ship. You know, they pay the ticket to go, and they pay the ticket for you to go home. Yeah, usually there's not much. Just have a valid passport and a visa which they will help you with, but you have to go there yourself to get it.
Okay. How should someone pack to move on a cruise ship?
Pack the bags, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like regular, you know. You don't need special. You get your uniform,
right?
And that's usually the only thing you wear. So you get the uniform, and maybe I think you have to bought. Yeah, I think we had to bought our own shoes though, and things like that. Bought our own shirts, but it was cheap. But I think we had to pay for that. But otherwise, you just. I think you have to know if you're usually you're on the warm weather as well, so you can you don't need a lot of jackets, a lot of big hats. You just because you in Europe when it's summer, and when it's cold in Europe, you go to the Caribbean. So it's usually always only summertime. But then when our boat went from New Jersey to Caribbean. So it was cold in New Jersey, and then we went to Caribbean for 3 days, and then it was warm. But usually you don't do so much in New Jersey. So I would, and then you can just you can buy stuff if you're missing something, you know.
Yeah. Is there anything that you missed from Sweden that you couldn't find on the cruise ship or as you toured around? Like anything that you missed, like a creature comfort from home?
Maybe just our candy, but
okay.
Swedish candy, you know, it doesn't exist anywhere. I think I love the candy here, and usually they only have like chocolate and things like that abroad. Most of the time, different kind of chocolate. Not any particular things, because I actually almost the opposite. I miss, you know, I bought a lot when we were in the States. I bought a lot of protein powder. You know, I work out and things like that. Yeah, and it tastes so much better in the States, and I think you have a lot more variety of everything in the States.
Right.
So I really like when we went to New Jersey to go do some big shoppings. So I miss almost more the American market than the Swedish market. Yeah.
Oh, because of the variety.
Because of their big variety of everything.
What's your favorite protein powder? Give it to us.
Cookies and cream.
Ooh, if I find it, I'll send it to you. All right.
Yeah, cool, man.
Let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about safety. This is a question that we ask everybody in our interviews. It's going to be a strange answer maybe for you, but how safe is it on a cruise, and do you feel safe on the cruise ship?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, safety is like the highest priority of everything. So we practice that a lot. We practice safety more than anything else. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because if you haven't sleep for some nights, you know, and finally maybe if I go to bed now and maybe have 7 hours sleep, and then the alarm went off, you know, like the practice.
Yeah.
The captain says, bravo, bravo, bravo. That's a code name for like fire. And every time I was like the fire guard, you know, we all have different missions. I was a fire guard. So when I hear that sound, I knew what to do. I knew I have to be there and I have to do this. And it could be anywhere. So like in the middle of the night, I hear bravo, bravo, bravo. And I said, no, I want to sleep. And then you have to like take your clothes on and go to your mission. And we practice that every week. We have a new guest coming, and the first thing we do is like a safety exercise with every passenger. So safety is, we always say safety first. So I feel really safe on board, and we have like our security is amazing. Like the security guys are amazing. They're like Australian military people, you know.
Serious.
Well trained or military, you know. Like it's really the best of the best. In my case, I had tremendous respect for the security people on board, because they were really serious, you know. We can joke in bar, we can joke a lot, you know, but you don't joke when you're a security guy, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Were there ever any incidences where people had things stolen from them?
Like in the like in the workers or stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And same, you know, like back to the prison metaphor, you know. It's really hard if a lot of people don't like you, you're in trouble, you know. Especially because you have connections. Like there's a lot of Philippines, for example. There's a lot of Indians, you know. And if you have a manager who is from the same country as you know, and maybe you have good bonds with him, and you can get in trouble if you're not well liked by other people. So you have to also be careful who you're messing with, I think. Because I know one friend got fired for not a big thing, but he wasn't liked so much. I think, you know, maybe it's a myth, but
So to
maybe.
keep harmony, they just got rid of the guy.
Yeah.
Is that what you think? Okay.
I think also like it's a little bit corruption. You know, if you've been there 20 years, you learn the systems, you learn everything. And sometimes you can be late, but nothing happens. But if this guy is late, you get a warning, you know.
Right.
So it's really it's good to be friend with, you know, most of the people there.
Yeah. Tell us, how's the healthcare? And like, if you have a health concern, where do you go? What do you do?
Yeah, now that's included. You know, if you're sick, they have a doctor. They check you up. If you have a stomach ache and something like that, they put you in a quarantine. You know, you're not allowed to be among people, and you're not allowed to go out from your room until you're healthy.
Okay.
And I just think about the dentists. I don't know what to do about if you have a bad tooth. I think everything is included. So if a bad tooth, they would pay for it or something like that. But I feel I forgot a little bit. I was never sick there, but different people were. But then you have a doctor you can go to and check up on you. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good perk. Yeah, that's a nice perk. Viktor, if you could tell us, what are the pros and cons to living on a cruise ship?
The pros, definitely, like, you see so many different places in the world. Like, my best memory of like the Dead Sea in Jerusalem, for example, and you know, walking around where Jesus was walking, you know, that's like amazing. I will never forget that. And then you go to Caribbean and you have a blast there, and you see so many different places, like, for free. You know, you just travel the world for free. And so that's like, I mean, where else can you do that? Like, there is none. If you're not a online entrepreneur, maybe, but that takes skills and takes a lot of time to develop that kind of company. But here you can work anywhere, and that's why people, I think, are addicted, because you can change cruise ship after one contract. You can work in Australia, you can work in Indonesia, you can work in Alaska, you can work in Europe, you can work in Caribbean. So that's what I would think about doing again, because I want to see more of the world. I love traveling. If you love traveling, there is no better job than to work on a cruise ship.
Right.
And it's sometimes, like I said, you don't need so many, because if you go to the same place maybe 10 times. So first week you see one thing, and then next week you go see another thing, and then the third week you see another thing. So you really have time to explore a lot, even though you're just here for a couple of hours. But you do one thing different weeks.
That's neat.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the biggest benefit. And then you save money. You know, you don't make so much money, but it depends where you live when you're not on the cruise ship. And then you make friends from all over the world, and you get really like connected, because you're in the same boat, in the same ship, you're in the same situation.
Yeah.
So you all try to encourage each other, and you always find people who you love. And I mean, one of my best friend, I think, is working now in the Philippines, and he's starting his own company as a bartender, and traveling around teaching kids to be bartenders and things like that. So so he's one of my best friends, I think, and I met him in the cruise ship.
Nice.
So the friends, the atmosphere, and the chance to travel all over the world. One of the pros as well on a cruise ship is the guests you meet. You know, that's how we met.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of guests, and I still have connection with the different people through Facebook. You know, they've been guests, and we talk, and like you know, you and me have a lot closer relationship, but you meet a lot of nice people, nice guests who also can become your friends. And you never know, like, what our friendship's gonna lead to, you know. So you meet so much people. I think it's really good to be in a job where you meet a lot of people, because people are amazing, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So that's another pro. Yeah, the cons is like you work. I think you work too much. I think it's too much work, man. That's why I didn't do another contract, because I was so tired. I was so tired. But I think I would do things differently, you know. When you new at something, you want to do your best. every time. And that should be, you always should do your best. But I did everything. I said yes to everything. Can you do this? Yes. 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 I'm a yes man. I don't like to say no. But I think in the long term, I think I will learn to say no a little bit, just to, okay, I think I need to just do some rest now. I have to really rest and things like that. You be smarter in your decisions, and you don't have to prove so much when you've done one contract and know who you are. You don't have so much to prove anymore, so you can still do a very good job, but you can also not burn yourself out.
It's good advice.
Yeah, you learn things along the way. But I think that to work 7 days a week, it is tough. It's like a modern slavery sometimes, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely been compared to that. And, I'll be interested to see what the comments we have from this video are. Guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you feel. If you've actually been a worker as well, and you have a different opinion, let us know. If you want to do a video, let us know. We'd be glad to shoot from a different perspective. Victor, if people want to reach out to you and get to know more about what you're doing, what your channel's about, how can they connect with you?
Yeah, they can look up my YouTube channel, even though it's in Swedish. But I'm thinking now maybe do it in English as well.
You should, my man.
Yeah.
Your English is impeccable.
You think so? Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking real good, but sometimes I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. But I think with more practice, I will improve my English also. That's why I think about doing a English YouTube channel. But right now it's in Swedish, and it's called Konsten att leva, and it means the art of living. So yeah, and then check my Facebook and Instagram also, Konsten att leva. Konsten att leva Viktor is my Instagram account. I think that's the best way to reach out to me, and then I can connect with people, answer questions if you have questions about if you don't feel good, if you're doubt yourself, if you struggle in life. I really want to help people to live the life to the fullest potential, because I think our mind is our best tool, but also our worst tool, because we haven't learned to use it the proper way, because nobody teaches us how to use our brain. We just take it for granted. But the brain can be amazing, but it can also give us a lot of troubles. And I realize that now, my relation to my thoughts, man, it's I have a totally different relationship now than I had before. Now I don't believe every thought in my head, and that's a big relief. And if you can learn to not believe every thought you have, you will live a lot more freer life, a lot more, with a lot less stress, with less doubt on yourself, less problems. And that is my wish for you, for me, and for you, and for everybody, because we cause so much suffering ourselves. And I don't want to. So that's my new chapter. That's my new book, I think.
That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to reading that book as well.
Yeah,
it's been great staying in touch all of these years, and we really appreciate you coming on to our channel, making a video with us. Anything that we can do for you, we'd love to, and we just really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on to Expats Everywhere.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Take care, yeah?
You too.
Bye-bye.